Me and my husband are an interracial couple, and let me just tell you, I found out something about him that I can't get over, and honestly, it's disgusting. So, I'm black, my husband's white. Yesterday, he admitted to me that recently, he started to like something called race play, which means that he has a sexual fantasy about racist situations. To be honest, I still don't know a lot about it, but an example that he gave me is that he has a fantasy about being a plantation owner, while I'm a slave that keeps as a mistress. Yeah, I can't stand to look at him anymore because I feel disgusted. He knows that I've been in a relationship where I was objectified in the past, and I know that people can't control their sexual interest, but I can't separate this image of my husband being attracted to racist situations from the man I fell in love with and married. He asked me if I was willing to give it a chance, but I told him that I didn't want to, and now he's sleeping in the guest room because we had a fight about it, about me not being supportive. I think this might end my marriage, but I love him, and I do want to work through this somehow. Update number 1. I talked to my husband over lunch. I did what some of you suggested and asked him where he got the idea from, and he started to like it. How? Most of you were right. He discovered it on some porn site and began watching more videos featuring it. He told me that it's been about 2 months since he discovered it. Then he asked me again if I would give it a chance for him. When I told him that I was uncomfortable with it, he got upset again and asked why I would not support him. He even offered that we could try it once, and then if I didn't like it, we would not have to do it again. But when I said no, he got frustrated and we started arguing. He reminded me of all the things that he's done for me and how much he's always supported me, and then called me manipulative. He is now left with his car to go spend time with his friends. I've been crying for the past 15 minutes. I don't know what else to do. Update number 2. A couple commenters have asked about it since the first update a couple hours ago. I'm now trying to see if any of my friends will let me stay with them for a day or two, so I can clear my head. I'm no contact with most of my family, and the family members that I still talk to live several states away. So staying with family is not really an option. And my husband owns the house, so I can't change the locks or tell him to buzz off. Update number 3. It's currently the middle of night here. I left her house and I'm now staying with a good friend. I'll be staying here until this evening. I've been here for a few hours now, and I did not see my husband before my friend picked me up. But I left him a voicemail to tell him that I needed space to clear my head. I also did what some of you suggested and said in the voicemail that I felt pressured by him into doing something I did not want to do. He has since heard the voicemail and has called and texted begging me to come home. He wants to come pick me up for her house in the morning, but I said no, accusing me of abandoning him right before Thanksgiving, and his best friend has also texted me to tell me that I'm a bad wife for treating my husband like this when he pays for everything and supports my lifestyle. To be honest, it made me cry more than what my husband said. I don't think I'll be able to get any sleep tonight after this. This is not part of the update next, but I received a lot of questions through the comments and direct messages, so I'll update that before we go further. Number 1. I do not know if my husband has like an addiction to this kind of thing. To be honest, I'm not sure how to tell if someone has an addiction to this. Number 2, I'm 25, my husband's 33. We've been together for 3 years, almost 4, but we've only been married for a year. Number 3. My husband's the sole breadwinner of our family. I'm a stay-at-home wife and do not have any income. Number 4. We do not have children together, but we're planning to start a family next year. I want children, but I'm going to put it on hold until I figure this out. Number 5. We've done domination in the bedroom before, but this is kind of different. Number 6. All of my husband's ex-girlfriends are white, aside from 2 guys that I dated in high school. And my husband, all the men that I've dated have been Hispanic or black. And finally, number 7, yes, we live in the South, but I don't feel comfortable disclosing which state. Okay guys, Mr. Reddito here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're into these kind of videos, as I have stories every single day. I'm about to come at you with a post number 2 from this OP. It's the day after the original post, and we're going to know exactly what's happened since then. Guys, here it is. Hello. Happy Thanksgiving to all that celebrate. I apologize if this post seems like a ramble, but I have had a very difficult last few days, so my thoughts are a little incoherent. I was pointed in the direction of this thread by a user who private messaged me, because she thought I would benefit from it. So, my husband confessed to having a fetish the other day that I'm very uncomfortable with. We had a fight about it, and he accused me of not being supportive of him, because I told him that I would not give it a chance. This led to him sleeping in our guest room and more arguments, and after consulting with others from a different place, I had a good friend pick me up and take me to her house while he was out with his friends. She offered to let me spend Thanksgiving with her and her family, so I left him a voicemail before I left, telling him where I was and that I would be home after Thanksgiving dinner. Now, he won't stop texting and leaving voicemails begging for me to come home. He's also accused me of abandoning him on Thanksgiving, even though I'm supposed to cook and host for his immediate family today. To be honest, I'm worried about ruining Thanksgiving. His family loves to celebrate holidays, and Thanksgiving is his mother's favorite. I host and cook for every holiday, except for Independence Day and Easter. I know that his siblings are not going to care, but if his parents do, I'm worried about it. I have a good relationship with them aside from their nosiness, but they're traditional. I worry that if I don't come home and host it, it's going to strain our relationship a lot. My husband thinks I'm going to ruin the entire holiday if I refuse to come home, since he can't cook, and he thinks it'll be cruel of me to let his family come to our house expecting dinner when there'll be nothing to eat because of me. Final update. While I was preparing dinner with my friend, my husband called me. His family has arrived and his parents aren't happy with his explanation about why I'm not there. He did not tell them the truth, and I don't know what he said, but apparently the excuse that he gave was not a good one, because they blame him for it. His mother has taken over making all the food, and instead of turkey, she'll be reheating some leftover chicken for them to eat. Apparently, she scolded him for fighting with me during a holiday when it's supposed to be about spending time with family and reflecting on who you love. He sounded like he was about to cry while talking. He asked me if I was happy that his mother and father ruined this, because I wanted to be spiteful and hurt him, instead of putting my feelings aside and spending time with him and his family. And he said that his friend was right about me being a bad wife because I stooped low enough to embarrass him to his family by ghosting them on the most important holiday. Then he told me that he's coming to get me at 7:30 and hung up. To be honest, I feel awful for making him cry. I know that I should be happy that his parents are supportive, even if he did not tell them the real reason. But my husband rarely cries. I don't know, I feel horrible for hurting him like that. I think that I messed up by not going home, but I don't know what to do. Alright guys, here's the top comment. It says, I hope this poor woman's okay. It looks like she hasn't posted since saying anything she's planned on having another talk with him. Yeah, I do too. That was 3 days ago. The whole story just headed looked like she was guilted into going back home. I also wonder if she's more likely to buy into his bullcrap because she doesn't have a family to lean on, or even a support system. So guys, I have one question for you. What do you think is going to come of this relationship? Is it doomed? Too many red flags? Is this guy just a racist piece of crap or what? Drop your thoughts down below, and the second story is titled, Would I, 34 male, be wrong for warning my sister-in-law's potential boyfriend about her awful intentions? Guys, if you're not subscribed to my new Instagram channel, it has behind-the-scenes, daily 60-second videos, you name it. You can check it out in the description below with my Instagram link. Just click it, then click follow, and you're good to go. And here is the next story. So, this is an issue that's reached a head, And I'm just so lost about what I thought I knew about my in-laws, and my wife to an extent. My sister-in-law's a bit of an introvert who hasn't had much success dating. She was in a long-term relationship for about 3 years, but her ex broke it off and she still hasn't found anyone since. This was about 4 years ago. She's gone on some dates over the years, but nothing seems to work out, and this has been frustrating her. A couple weeks ago, she found a guy on Tinder, and they went on a date at a restaurant. She said the date went okay, and I don't know all the deets, but apparently this guy has money. He owns his own business, picked her up in a BMW, and they went to a really fancy place for their first date. Personal aside, this all seems very odd to me from a match on Tinder. So my wife, who's 29, was asking more about the date. I got the impression she wasn't physically attracted to him. My sister-in-law likes tall guys, and well, he's short, and he's overweight, pudgy. She showed us his Instagram, and he's an alright looking dude, but I could tell she was kind of meh on his physical appearance overall. Well, last week they go on another date. My wife and I were at my mother-in-law's house when she got back. She lives at home still, and tells us about how the date went. Again, they go to a pretty fancy restaurant. Apparently, it was a carbon copy of their first date, which seems weird. I'm not 100% sure what that means. I guess they had the same conversations. I don't know, these were her words. And she was obviously less enthused by the last date. So, my wife asked if she's going to see him again, and she said maybe. I asked if she sees a future with him. Once again, maybe. But since he has money, she wants to try to make it work. I was shocked by this answer, and I was even more shocked that my wife, or mother-in-law, did not say anything to her about this kind of attitude. I said, sister-in-law, that's not nice. If you're not attracted to him, you should not just use him for fancy dinners. This did not start an argument exactly, but she did not appreciate my 2 cents. And it kinda soured the evening, so we left shortly after. My wife and I got into it when we got home, and she told me I should mind my own business. I said it's ducked up that she is only interested in seeing him because he has money. If she had that kind of attitude about me when we first started dating, we may have not ended up together. She said I was making a heck of a lot of assumptions about her intentions. But how can I be making assumptions when it came right from her mouth? She literally said it. Well, this went on for a bit, and this is still a lingering issue between us. I feel like I've become slightly red-pilled or something, because the more I stew on this, the more it's just making me mad. And I'm really contemplating reaching out to him about this, since I have his Instagram. I don't know him like that, and I'm aware this might be a bit excessive. But if I was in a situation, I would be very grateful if somebody with inside information let me know. So I'm not sure if I should do this or not. Help me out in the comment section. So I want to read this comment. It says this. Why do you assume that this poor, innocent, rich dude is naively flaunting his wealth and is in need of you to come rescue him from a shameless gold digger after 2 Tinder dates? He was smart enough to get some money, and now he's doing what he wants with it, which includes using it as means of advanced social capital, picking her up in a flashy car, taking her to a very high-end restaurant, deliberately flashing his wealth on the first date. Is he using that feature about himself as means of making himself more attractive? If he wanted your sister-in-law not to care about it, he wouldn't have done those things or made her aware of his wealth so early on. I read an interview with the founder of Seeking Arrangement once where he basically said this. I'm not a great-looking guy, and I know I don't have a lot to offer women, but I'm loaded. And let's get me through this thing. Let me get what woman I want that are otherwise way out of my league. It's mutually beneficial. I know, it's super weird and creepy of you to assume that your sister-in-law is taking advantage of this dude, and not think that he's an adult who's fully aware of the situation he's in. Keep out of it, you nosy noser. So guys, let me know what you think of that. Is OP being extremely nosy, and just leave it alone? Let me know your thoughts on this. The next and final story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my estranged sister and our parents that she and her kids are not my problem? 7 years ago, I was married and expecting a baby when things went horribly wrong. Around 10 weeks into my pregnancy, I suffered a miscarriage, and then I returned home to find my husband in bed with my sister. Well, the two of them tried to apologize and convince me that we could all get over it, but I wanted nothing to do with either of them, and even less so when I found out she's gotten pregnant. My divorce was finalized quickly because I wanted nothing from him other than a divorce, and was willing to leave the marriage with nothing but the clothes on my back. Pretty early, I realized my parents were hoping I would want to still be a part of the baby's life. I wanted nothing to do with the baby my sister conceived while sleeping with my husband. As I lay in hospital losing my own pregnancy, I refused any and all contact with my sister and ex. They married and had 2 more children after the one she conceived during my marriage to him. Well, I met my current husband when I had distanced myself from the whole family. He was amazing. His family was great. We got married 2 years ago, and his family are nothing short of the best. I adore the nieces and nephews I've gained through my marriage to him, and we spend a lot of time together. Around 3 months ago, my sister called me at work, using my work phone, and told me she needed me. Could I please come over? I hung up on the phone and continued about my day. It was several hours later that I got a message from my parents saying, I need to be with my sister now. A few days later, I got another call and was told my sister had been pregnant. But the baby passed away inside of her and she delivered a stillborn, all while he was out sleeping with someone else. My parents and sister expected me to rally around her, and I did not. Now that some time's passed and she lives with them, I've been inundated with them saying I should meet her kids, be there more for them like I am my husband's nieces and nephews, and that I should reconcile with DNA family. My sister told me how sorry she was again and that she wanted us to make up. I told the 3 of them that she and her kids are not my problem, and I still want nothing to do with them. My parents are furious, and they say I need to forgive, because whatever she did, she's now suffering worse than would ever deserve, and her kids are innocent and do deserve an aunt. So, what I need to know, am I the a-hole for this situation? Okay, so almost everybody's saying not the a-hole, with one comment saying, not the a-hole. You don't need to forgive her. What she did's unforgivable. Tell your parents to tell her she can deal with it like you did, by going out and finding a decent man to make her life with. If any will have her at this point, but you're not letting her around you or your new family because you're not her husband, Mart. Then tell your parents that if they don't respect your desires to have nothing to do with her, then you're just going to completely cut them out of your life once and for all. So guys, let me know, is that good advice? And let me know, do you agree? Not the a-hole. Drop it down below in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.